Your spouse is not responsible for your happiness. There is no doubt about that. We all as an individual are solely responsible for our happiness. But listen to this, in as much as we all are responsible for our emotions, as long as you have a spouse in your life, the happiness and joy will become your priority as much as it is to them. You may not be responsible for them, but here is what I mean. Take for an example, if you know that bringing back home a bunch of flowers makes your wife or your husband happy, would you rather choose not to bring in a bunch of flowers once in a while to see them happy, to see them get excited, just because you believe that their happiness is not your responsibility? That's exactly what I mean. You may not be responsible for their happiness, but you prioritize it as much as they do. The Bible says that the two, husband and wife, shall become one. This has so much to do, both in them sharing in their joy and in their happiness, even in their sadness, valuing each other's happiness as much as they do, and intentionally avoiding whatsoever that may cause them sadness. This is the totality of what it means to become one. So if I understand this spouse, it is much more easier to enjoy the happiness that your partner brings back home, no matter how little they may seem, than expecting them to take up the full job of being responsible for your joy and your happiness. Just as much as it's easier for your spouse to add to your happiness when you personally know how to stay happy and joyful amidst all odds. There are many unrealistic things we have believed in our time as regard to marriage. Many things that marriage will become their escape route for unhealed wound, for loneliness, for unhappiness, for insecurity, for low self-esteem, much more than this. Understand this, my dear spouse. What you don't have, no one else can give it to you. All that everybody that come across your path can do for you is to add to whatsoever that is already existing in you. If it's not in you, no one else can give it to you. If you are not the sole source of your joy and happiness, even your spouse cannot give it to you. It must be in you first for your spouse to add to that and for it to become much easier even for them to keep you happy. The more you learn to create inner happiness, the happier you will be with your spouse. Learn to work on being happy as an individual, because it will make it much easier to share your happiness as spouse. Therefore, find out those things that makes you happy and keep you happy. Intentionally invest in them. It could be a hobby, a skill, a gift. It could even be your talent. Intentionally invest in them and frequently do them as much as you can. It will enable you to stay happy. When you learn to invest in yourself and in your happiness, the impact will daily make your marriage blissful. Stay blessed.